Hey, what's up you guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Tara and I make videos about digital planning and different ways that you can get creative with your iPad. So if it sounds like something that's of interest to you, feel free to stick around, ring that notification bell so that you never miss a video. Okay, so what we're going to be talking about today is my planner release for my 2025 planner. I took into consideration a few of the things that I have heard mentioned in the last 6 months or so, which were people wanting a dark mode planner. So this does come available in two different types of planners. We've got this light version here, and then we have the dark mode planner here. I'm not sure which one I'm going to use yet. I am really kind of feeling the dark mode vibes, but I love using the light mode vibes just because I feel like, I don't know, I feel like it goes with more stickers. I feel like I have to be more conscious of the color palettes I use if I use a dark mode planner, but that doesn't mean that they won't go, you know? So anyway, very excited, not sure which I'm going to use. But anyway, the other couple of things that I heard were people wanted me to keep my cheeky collegian font. I thought really hard about changing it, but everyone loves this font. It's a best-selling font, and I don't know, it's cute. I love the aesthetic, so we've kept it for another year. It gets to be in the spotlight for at least another year. Additionally, I had people request a portrait mode planner. So normally I do mine in landscape, but for 2025, we are going full portrait mode. So those are the major things that I wanted to touch on before we actually jump into this and go through the walkthrough here. So of course, we've got this cover page here, which you can swap out. You can add an actual cover page within GoodNotes, but this one just says 2025, it's going to be your year, with a little motivation for everyone to get started. And then when you press the home button, it's always going to navigate you to this planner pages index. I don't use this too much throughout the year except for my notebook sections personally. So I always like to title my notebook sections so that I am able to organize things more easily. And you can do this from the notebooks tab, which is all the way down here, or you can do it here. I tend to keep it on both pages just to make it easier for me to navigate in general. But you'll see here we have a year at a glance, we have important dates, we have goal setting broken down into a few different areas for you to easily navigate. And we have some happy trackers, which we'll get to those in a second. And then this whole middle section here is the finances. So each section has a cash flow page and an expense ledger that also has a savings tracker on it. And that's available for each month. And then we have our wellness trackers, so just some health goals and sort of holistic health things to track, which again, we'll get to in a second, and some check-ins. And then we have bonus pages. These I'm really excited about, so stick around until later in the video and I'll be sure to show you those. I absolutely love a couple of these. And yeah, that's everything that you're gonna find here on the index page. One thing to note is that instead of having like a legend or a key to show what these symbols mean, I actually instead just put them next to their category on the main index. So you'll see this little star like this. This means bonus pages. You can find that on the bottom right here. We've got these 5 lines that indicates our notebook sections. You can find that down here. Then of course we have our months, so you can read those, don't need to check that out. But then we have these other symbols up here. So we've got the heart for our wellness trackers. We have the dollar sign, of course, for finances. We have the star like this for our happy trackers, the things that we enjoy. And we have this little trophy here for our goal setting, like a little reward, if you will. And then we've got these little squares here in this grid format to indicate our full year calendar. So there's 12 squares there for 12 months. And then lastly, we've got the little home icon for our planner page index. So all of these are clickable links. So if you click anywhere, it's going to navigate you to exactly that page. But you can also find them by going through your planner. So let's start taking a look at these actual pages now. So again, the home icon takes you here. This is what our 2025 calendar looks like. And each of these has clickable links. So let's talk about these for a second. Every calendar that you see has a clickable title. So we're just going to come right back to that year at a glance. The numbers are clickable to take you to that date. Again, let's come right back to our calendar. And then another thing to note is they all have a hidden secret link. So on the right edge of every calendar, there is a weekly link. So if you tap on that, it's going to take you to that week's layout. Okay, so coming back, we're just going to scroll right on through, but that's what you'll find on any of the calendars. They all have those same navigation links. We have our important dates here. I did this a little bit differently this year. So I sort of wanted to combine the birthday section and the important date section from my previous year. And I just thought we'll put all the dates here and any future planning that you want to do. This is something I used to do with bullet journaling. If it's the beginning of the year or the quarter or something and you just want to like put everything that you have in one place, you can kind of get that overview of all of the major dates of the year, then this is your spot to do that. Okay, and then we get to our goal setting section. So this just says you are unlimited, and then it asks you some questions just to get you to start thinking about your goals. So what does success look like in 1 year and 5 years? You can mind map in this big middle section here. And then what are your top 3 goals this year? So what are the 3 main things that you want to prioritize and why are they important to you? So just take a moment to think about that and reflect. This is not super detailed. It's just trying to give you a good overview of what's important to you. Because then we're going to jump into quarterly breakdowns. And this is where you really start to think about what your actual goals are and break them into like 12-ish week chunks. And so figure out what those goals are that are going to help you move towards those things that are most important to you. And I left a focus area up here. You can choose to do this in a variety of ways. You could, of course, set goals for whatever is most important to you, but you could have your focus area be something like relationships. It could be work. It could be health. You know, whatever that looks like for you. But then you have space in each of these sections to write down your goal, the action steps in order to achieve that goal, and then by when. What is the deadline in order for you to do this? And then I also included a little timeline here for plotting your deadlines. I don't know, I'm a visual person, so I think this helps. So each of these is 3 months, which is approximately 12 weeks. You know, there might be a couple extras. So my inspiration for using quarterly breakdowns in general was the 12-week year. If you haven't read it, I think it's a great book. And I think that it's way easier to accomplish things when we break it down into quarters and treat our year like a quarter as opposed to a whole year, because we always procrastinate until the end, right? Maybe not everyone, but many of us. And so breaking things down into quarters is at least helpful for me to make sure that I'm meeting quarterly deadlines and getting things done more frequently. So because of that, this timeline has 12 spaces, as if each of these lines is a week. So each of the bigger lines is approximately a month. So just keep that in mind when you're plotting things on to your little timeline here. However, it is not exact because 3 months isn't exactly 12 weeks. It's a little bit more. So if you end up with a little bit of extra time at the end of each month or each 3 months, I mean, nobody's complaining about having extra time, right? So yes, just keep that in mind. But we have one for each quarter. So this is quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, and quarter 4. And then we have a reflection. So I would come back and visit this reflection each quarter, not just at the end of the year. So we have for each quarter, how did I do? What challenges did I overcome? And you can just kind of reflect on that here. And then in the bottom, you can celebrate your biggest wins. So whether that's with photos or drawings or writing about it or whatever, just recognize yourself because you've worked hard and you deserve it, and pat yourself on the back a little bit. And then we have the space for a vision board, which I already decorated just to make it look cute because I always hate having just like this blank page, which is what I've always had in the past. But when I create my vision boards in here, I always end up covering the whole page anyway. So I thought this would be a good space to just add some cute doodles because honestly, you guys are probably going to cover them up anyway, and that's totally fine. But I wanted to make it look cute anyway. So make a collage, do whatever you want to in here, but feel inspired. Create a beautiful vision board. Okay, these are the happy trackers. This is where the happy tracker begins. I'm so excited. These I think are so fun. And so I did actually design these with my digital stickers in mind. So when you look at these, they are the exact same dimensions as the digital Polaroid frames that I create. And so I'll show you guys really quickly how that will work. However, one thing to keep in mind is that when you are creating things in GoodNotes, for example, you might not be able to get the angles like 100% how you want them. So we're just gonna rotate this one. This one looks pretty good, actually. Pretty perfect. So you would have put your picture down first, and then you just put this over top until you can't see the lines underneath, and then you'll have this beautiful collage of photos at the end of the year. You can also just crop your photo to fit inside there. Another option would be to like color it in. But the one thing I was saying is when you're doing this, you might have occasional issues trying to rotate it to the exact angle. And actually, I'm not having any issues right now, but if you do have issues, what I would do is just make it so it's slightly bigger than that space, and nobody will ever know. Okay, that's enough on this one. Just wanted to make sure I mentioned that. And then we've got this cute idea which says, keep dancing through life. And this is meant to track like a soundtrack for the year. I thought this would be a cute idea. So you can take a picture of the photo album cover or whatever and insert it in here. And this is just kind of like a little playlist. And then the little indicator here for how far you are in the song progresses as we get through the year, which I thought was like a nice little touch. Anyway, I thought this was fun. I hope you guys like this. The next thing to track we have is our book tracker, and I left this up to you guys and however you want to use it, because I know everybody reads very differently. Some people have tons and tons of books that they are guaranteed to read every year and they know it, so maybe you want to use this to track the books as you go. You can duplicate this page as many times as you need, but other people might want to use this to put a list of books that they want to read and then like color it in as you go. So you do you, whatever works best for you, whatever makes you happy. But I thought this was super cute. So we've got, these are also like featured stickers from previous sticker sets. I just turned into line work for the planner. Any of the doodles that you see in here pretty much are little doodles from previous sticker sets. And now at the bottom of our bookshelf here, we have this little tracker for you to color in as you finish books. There's 50 here. Again, everyone's reading is different, so I'm probably lucky if I finish between 15 and 20 books in a year, including audiobooks. I wish I read more, I do, but there's so much information in the world today. It's hard, it's constant overwhelm in my opinion, but we do what we can, so feel free to fill this in however suits you best. Up next, we have our movie and TV show tracker. I'm excited about this one too. I think this will be super fun. So here we have a spot to put the title of the movie or TV show, where to watch it, what platform that's on. And then for date, you can either put the release date if you're waiting on that, or you can put the date that you started watching it. And then there's a status. So once you start watching it, you can put a little X or a tick on that box. And then you can also do the same once you've finished it. And then there's a space for a 5-star rating scale. And this is probably my favorite part of this one, is you can also take a little square image from your favorite films and put them in here for the year, or TV shows. Again, you can duplicate this as many times as you need. Okay, so now we get into the finances, and these are linked specifically to each month. So you'll see these two pages get repeated like 12 times in a row. And so whatever month you're in, like if you're in June and you click on the finance icon, it's going to take you to the June pages. So everything is programmed based on the month that you're in. Same with the goals. So if you're in quarter one and you hit your goals, it's going to take you to the quarter one breakdown. If you're in quarter two or three, it's going to take you to those breakdowns. So I tried to make it as simple as possible to navigate these sections and keep things, more seamless for you. But the first page, this is a cash flow form. I don't know if you've ever seen this kind of thing, but basically this helps you to budget and understand truly what is your monthly cash flow. And most of us may feel like that changes from month to month. But the idea of something like this is that you are going to try to budget for it annually. So if you're thinking about car maintenance, for example, yes, that may vary from month to month. But what you want to think about is how much do you anticipate spending for an entire year? And especially with something like your car, think about how old your car is and how much realistically you may have to put into it over the course of the year. And what you want to do is, instead of doing, an extra $400 one month and then only spending $75 a different month, what you want to do is total everything that you expect to spend in the year and then divide that number by 12. And this is going to help you keep your budget consistent, making it a lot easier to manage. So realistically, for all the months of the year, you probably aren't going to see much change here. You may need to reassess it from time to time, but you'll probably just be copying and pasting this. Some things that might change would be like your debt repayments, or how much money you're able to put into your savings, or your income possibly, depending on what you do for money. But for the most part, your expenses should stay pretty much the same. If something changes in medication costs or something that was unexpected, then of course come back in and adjust this. But this is meant to help keep things a little more consistent. Then the second finance page that every month has is this expense ledger. I'm terrible at using these, and I know they're kind of old school, but I think they really are helpful. So you just add the date, the description, plus or minus how much, and then the new balance. There's also a little colon here after expense ledger if you want to put the specific account that you're talking about. And then you can track these things separately based on the account. You can duplicate this page as many times again as you need to each month. And then we have our savings goals here. So you would just write down your goal, the amount, and then what you're going to do is in your head, divide that by 10. So each of these little spots is going to be a 10th. So you're going to fill this in every 10% of the way you make it to your savings goal. And this obviously can be copy and pasted from month to month as you're working on your savings. Okay, so the next thing we're going to take a look at is our health trackers. So right now, this is the January finance page. If we scroll to February and press the heart, it's going to take us to this page that only has 28 days in it. So again, I tried to keep everything consistent for you guys, but let's just take a quick scroll back to the main page. So this is the first health page. And if you're on any of like the main navigation pages, if you're on like the home page or the 2025 calendar or something that's not month specific, and you want to press the heart button there, it's going to take you to this main page. But anytime that you're in one of the monthly pages, it's going to take you to the health trackers that go with that month. So in here, you're going to find more of a holistic view of things. So let's come to this main page. This is definitely meant to be a bit more holistic. So think about what are your wellness goals, whether they're physical or nutritional or mental health based, whatever that means for you. What are your wellness goals? What's most important to you and why? And then to start to get to know yourself a little bit. So what is it that motivates you to take action? Are you somebody who's more positively reinforced, somebody who's more negatively reinforced? And what are those things that are going to help you motivate yourself? And then what kind of action can you take right away? Because I fully believe in the power of momentum. So what is the easiest thing for you to start doing right away that's going to help push you towards your goals? If it's super easy and convenient, then you're more likely to do it. So what are the things that we can get started with right away? And then we can build upon that momentum. Okay, so then these monthly pages, these are for tracking things more holistically. So we have our minutes of daily movement. So of course, you don't have to exercise every single day, but even tracking any amount of movement, whether it's a 10-minute yoga session or just getting up and stretching in the morning or going for a walk, whatever your intentional daily movements are, go ahead and track those here. And then we have our hours of sleep. It goes up to 10. If you're somebody who sleeps more than 10 hours a night, I applaud you. Just fill in the whole 10 bars. I definitely do not get 10 hours of sleep a night, but I'm trying to be more consistent. So I think this would be a helpful little tracker. And then you can track your water intake as well. So this goes up to 10. And I think everyone's water intake goals tend to be a little bit different. So regardless of what the recommendation is, I want you to use this in whatever way makes the most sense for you. So if 10 means 10 cups, then 10 cups. If 10 means 10 water bottles, then 10 water bottles. If 10 is just 10% of the half a gallon that you drink every day, then do it that way. So just, this is all personalized. And then we also have mindful minutes. Now, some of you may be pros at this and you may have way more than 10 mindful minutes in a day. But I think that having somewhere between 5 and 10 minutes every single day of dedicated time to just think, breathe, relax, meditate, or do, some kind of breath work or something is extremely helpful for me and just allows me to prioritize myself even for just a few minutes a day. So I definitely recommend, where possible, tracking some mindful minutes. And then at the end of each month, there's a tiny space to reflect on what were some of your favorite ways this past month to stay active, stay healthy, and happy. What are the things that were most motivating for you in order to keep you on the right track for these particular goals? Because you're going to want to be able to come back to those things. I know I tend to forget sometimes certain things that have made me really happy on my health journey. And so having a place to document those favorite things is, I think, very helpful. All right, and then we're gonna scroll all the way to the end of these months. We're gonna find one last health page. So on this page, I want you to take a picture of yourself. Could be your body, could be your face, could be whatever is an indication of you and your health right now, and just add your little photo in here. And then it says starting metrics. I have specifically left these open because I'm not going to sit here and tell you what metrics I think you should be tracking for your own personal health. I think health is very individualized. And so I think the most important thing here is you deciding what's important for you to track. What works with the goals that you have for yourself this year. You could be judging certain things in your life on a scale of 1 to 10. They could actually be certain metrics like pounds, calories, inches, etc. They could be reps in certain exercises or weights. It could be minutes of movement. It could be how fast you run a mile. Whatever this looks like for you, those are the metrics that I want you to track. So it says metric and it says value, keeping it very broad so that you can customize this however is best for you. So you're going to put your starting metrics here, and then at the end of quarter 1, you're going to check in. So on April 1st, and you're going to put those new metrics down. And then again, check in at the end of quarter 2. So on July 1st, or the beginning of quarter 3. And then at the end of quarter 3, beginning of quarter 4, you're going to check in here. And then we have our final end of the year check in and a spot for one more photo of you 1 year later. So again, personalize this to you, whatever suits your goals. Okay, and now we're going to get into what the monthlies look like. And so we've got our, of course, calendar here. And just like with the mini calendars, anytime you click on a date, it's going to take you to that date. I can tap on January and come back to the month. There are also hidden links. So for these, if you take a look, we're going to come right back. It's kind of hard to tell, but when I press on this, it's on the side. If I press too long, the menu pops up, but you can see this highlighting. Hopefully you can see that. And if I click on it, it's going to take me to the week. So the calendars are actually Sunday starts because I personally can't stand a calendar that starts on Monday. Like, it gives me the ick. But the actual weekly calendars are Monday starts because I know that those seem to be most popular, which I get. I like to plan my weekend together and my weekdays separately. And so splitting them feels wrong as well. So this is what I've decided to do. But okay, coming back to our monthly. So on our monthly page, after those links, you also have a future month's view and a tiny little dedicated box for anything that you want to remember for next month. And then we also have this open space here. You can do whatever you want with that. And then there's a notes section here. And then we also have this space for our priorities, and I've separated them into the weeks. So this is going to kind of help with, like, me personally, I like to do 2-week sprints. So these are kind of already there, and I can just group them together in 2 for when I'm doing my digital planning. I also tend to customize my stuff a lot. So I'm really excited to see how I customize this new planner. But very fun, very exciting. Even if you don't like to customize your planner, this has everything that you'll need. And then there's also a section up here at the top for what are your top 3 goals for the month. So the idea here is to keep in mind what your quarterly goals are and what does that mean for this month. What are the things that you need to focus on most? And then we're going to take that stuff into our weekly and our dailies. So you've prioritized your top 3 goals. Let's go ahead and open one of these weeks. And in this week, we now have our top priorities for the week. So you're going to list what are the 3 things that are going to help move you towards those main 3 goals that you have. And of course, this can change from time to time because, life gets crazy and sometimes our priorities need to switch up a little bit. But keep in mind what your monthly goals are when you're setting your goals for the week. And then I really like this layout. It's a complete change from what I've done in the past, but we've got these dedicated spaces. And then this is probably my favorite thing. I'm really going to love tracking this. It's a motivation meter. So again, it's on a scale of 1 to 10, and you can just color in what your motivation was for the day. I think this is going to be incredibly helpful, at least for me. I'll be really curious to see if there's any kind of pattern in my motivation. And then we have this habit tracker that's built in down here. So we've got 7 little dots, so you can color it in for each day of the week, and then whatever your goals are. And then I've also included an Eisenhower matrix. Again, you can customize this however you like, covering things up. I do this all the time in my digital planning videos here on YouTube, but in case you don't want to customize it, all this stuff is here for you. So this is an Eisenhower matrix. In this, you organize your to-do list based on urgency and importance. So this can really help you in planning out your days if you take all the things that you need to do for the week and you realize what's most important, most urgent, what's least important and least urgent, and so on, so that you are able to properly coordinate them into your weekly layout. And then once you've decided, when is the best time frame to do these things in your week, you can then go forward and add these into your daily layout if you're somebody who likes to use a daily planner. I'm definitely somebody who likes to use a daily planner, but I feel like this is going to be extremely helpful and I might not always need my daily planner. I like this design. I'm a little biased, of course. And then there's a small little note section here for you to do whatever you'd like with. Okay, moving on to our dailies. So let's take a look here. So again, on this page, feel free to customize whatever you would like, but we have a tiny little box at the top for you to reflect. How are you feeling today? We have a space for our top 3 priorities. Again, you can break that down from what's going on in the week or just whatever needs to get done that day. We have a long to-do list. And then we have this section, which I love. It's a dedicated section for a little bit of balance in your life. You can use this as a way to kind of make a goal for yourself if you're doing this in the morning, or you can do this also at night as a way to reflect. But what is something you've done for yourself personally, professionally, and in the world of wellness? So the personal things could be like family or social or something like that. Professional, obviously, some kind of work-related activity for yourself. And then also wellness, which I think speaks for itself. So whatever works for you. And you can customize this, of course, whatever works for you. But we also have this schedule here. It goes in 30-minute increments, so you can block out your day using this space. I am obsessed with using these, especially when I'm feeling overwhelmed. They just help me to, function during the day. And then we have our breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snack trackers. I very rarely use these, but I would like to use them more. I think they're cute too. I like the style. Anyway, we also have a final little brain dump space here for you to take some notes. And then this cute little note here to you that says, did you take a break today? So a little healthy reminder to put yourself first. All right, and we are basically done here. So the last things that I want to talk about really quickly is, of course, all the months, everything looks the same, whether we go to February or June or September. But then we can come to our notebook section. And here we've got 20 different notebooks. So you can write, whatever the section title is called, and then you can click on it. And then remember, you can also copy and paste this into the home page where we have the other table of contents there. And then what I always do is I'll just write the title at the top, and then here's your notebook page, so take your notes. But then in order to make this section bigger, to have multiple pages to it, you're just going to tap on this and then insert the current template. So when you do that, that's going to make this section 2 pages, and you can do that as many pages as you need, and all of the links and everything will still work. So You can also, if you know what section number you want to navigate to, you can just tap on them and it's going to take you now to section 10. So there's like a little circle around it to help you navigate here. And once we've made it through all of the pages, we are going to come to our bonus pages. Okay, so the bonus pages, they're just different options for pages you can use. Some of them are pretty basic for note-taking, drawing, whatever. But then some of them are a little fun, and I can't wait to share those with you. So I was really excited. I hope you're still here checking out this planner. So we've got our lined page here. The other one was our nice little grid page. Here we have a dot grid. I am a dot grid person. I love the dot grid. And then this is just a blank page. That's why you can't see anything. So you can use this however you would like. And then this page, it's super faint and hard to see, but I did that intentionally. There are these lines here for you to divide into sections and just do line work. And I think this is such a super calming experience. I realize it's so hard to see. Let me grab my Calm Your Mind planner for 2025 and I'll show you exactly what I mean. So this is my planner. Ignore the not for resale on here. This is my personal copy from my proof. But inside you can see there's lots of line work. So this is a perfect example of what my intentions are with this page. So give yourself space to just doodle, just repetitive doodles. And this is just such a great way to relax an overactive mind. It's mindless. It doesn't have to have a specific intention with your doodles. And in the end, you end up with something that's really kind of pretty with all of the repeated patterns that you create. So really fun. I love doing stuff like this, and I hope that it brings you some peace. And the other fun activity in here that might bring you some peace is another template for doodling. Again, this is very hard to see. If I zoom in, you can see basically the whole page is like this, and this is meant for you to draw mandalas. So another very relaxing activity. I love them. But the idea is you can take your pen tool and you can of course use colors, but you're just going to use these as guides to draw shapes and just repeat them over and over again. So I'm not gonna sit here and do this, but you just go outward from the center and repeat the same thing. You can measure out. So like let's say I want this one to cover like, 3 of these, then you're just going to cover 3 of them, and you want to do the same thing. Now, if you're being very particular, you can of course always make sure handwriting is turned on, and you can duplicate these and rotate them, but then you have to worry about sizing them. But just use your guides and do whatever works for you. This is really kind of hideous because I have to draw at very different angles when I'm recording than what I'm comfortable drawing at. I'm a lefty and I would totally want to turn my page completely to the side. So this is like the most awkward thing in the world for me. But anyway, that's a little side note now that we are finished with our planning pages. But I think this will be a really fun and relaxing way to do some doodles. I do wish that there was a smoother drawing experience in GoodNotes, but you can also export this page if you would like and use it to draw in an app like Procreate or something where the drawing experience is a little bit better. But nonetheless, I think it's a really great way to eventually have some calming, repetitive doodles that also look pretty powerful in the end. I think that the repetition makes things look really impressive. So I hope that it ends up being a good experience for you. And again, remember all of these pages are available just the same in the dark mode planner. And seeing this and how the red light from my camera shows, I don't know if I'm gonna use my dark mode planner this year, because on all of my videos, you'd be able to see the glowing red dot in the center there. But anyway, this is everything. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And especially thank you so much for purchasing this planner. I'm assuming that many of you who are watching this particular video are probably people who have already purchased this planner. If you are somebody who has happened upon this video that has not purchased this planner but you would like to, the links will absolutely be down in the description for you. Anyway, that is all for now. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. As always, I love you so much. You are the best, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!